How's it going today? Daniel, Mr. Cuervo Racing. Today, talking to you about three things every Raptor 700 owner should put on his new bike or her new bike. Today, working on a 2018 Raptor 700. This is the base model, but in my opinion, the best looking model of the year, with the satin black frame and this two-tone gray. Really nice looking combo here. But basically, three things we need is these bikes do not come with a temperature gauge that you can read. It only has the dummy light. And that light on the dash right here, that comes on when you're already to the point of engine damage. It's coming on at a 250 degrees plus range, well beyond any hope of not hurting that engine already. So being able to monitor engine temp as you're out riding and see if it's climbing or what you got to do to mitigate overheating, which is not normally an issue, but it is still a possibility. In certain circumstances, being able to know what that temperature is and not just a dummy light really helps. So another thing, okay, so that temp gauge, I like to use this one here. It's a ESR gauge. I got their logo on here somewhere. There. So that's going to go right in this upper radiator hose. We're going to cut about 1.25 inches out of that upper line right here and put that gauge in there. So you can look down off the ride of the bike, see what that temperature is running. Normally you should be in between 175 and 210 range. The thermostat is opening at 195. So that's one thing. Another thing is that every new owner should buy is a proper case saver. The factory case saver I'll show you here right now is a thin piece of aluminum that doesn't do a whole lot. This case saver here, made by UPP Racing. They're a company out of Oregon. This is a $45 part. It's a plastic. It's polycarbonate, so it can take some impact from the chain and save your cases. The main thing is keeping the chain from wadding up in between the front sprocket and the stator cover. So I'll show you real quick where this is going. So under your factory cover here, you're gonna see you got a decent amount of room between this chain and the stator cover, and that's what this poly is gonna fill in this area. So it just slides right on there. Put the bolts back in. On these, on the 14 tooth, they clear. On the 15 tooth front sprocket, sometimes you gotta grind a little bit out of this case saver, depending on which chain you have, for extra clearance if you're worried about it dragging a little bit. Now, this cover can go back on here. As you see, it's not fitting right back on there right now because we do need to cut off this shoulder. Need to cut off that shoulder so it can fit flat on there. So a little bit of grinding, same with this shoulder on the back. We'll cut that flat. But this is the factory, what they like to call a case saver. Now, what's that gonna do for you? That ain't gonna do a whole lot. That's a really thin piece of aluminum. This just gets, if you ever have a chain derail, this gets completely destroyed and does absolutely nothing. So this is a big waste of time. So the last thing we're going to talk about on these bikes that are 2015 model year and up, they have a reed valve that introduces fresh air into the exhaust to help burn off unburnt fuel by in the exhaust by adding more oxygen into the exhaust to help that burn. If you don't have the exhaust oxygen along with any unburnt fuel, you can't burn unburnt fuel. So we have a AIS block off plate. Basically, this plate is going to go right here on the head. Kind of hard to, let's see if we can get a view at that. Okay, so we have this valve here, this cover here. This hose is going to it. It's a 2-bolt cover just above your lower radiator hose on the cylinder head. We're gonna pull the exhaust off of this one and get to that, but this plate will go in this orientation, so this dimple up and facing the engine, and there is a reed valve, a rubber and steel assembly inside the head here, and that reed valve is going to stay in because the rubber will seal, and this will go on top and bolt in there. So that's 3 things we like to do to every new bike that comes in, and really helps for longevity and getting rid of any issues that are there from the factory, or the stuff that is trouble prone. But hope you like this video. Like and subscribe, comment if you got a question, and hit us up on Facebook, Cuervo-Racing, and you can see a lot of pictures and information there on different builds and parts. That's it for today. Thank you.